It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Butterfly Palace and Rainforest Adventure, Adventure Cave Tours, and Talking Rocks Cavern. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sara Foreheads.
Yes, indeed. It is Wednesday. We're midway through the week, moving that direction anyway, and we have some news to tell you about this morning.
Yeah, first of all, we're beginning with weather, really, talking about the extreme heat. A heat advisory goes into effect today at 1 o'clock and will last through Friday evening. Temperatures could reach 100 plus degrees, with the heat index jumping to near 110. Because of the heat wave, Springfield is offering some cooling centers and public buildings that have AC. Plus, the Springfield Greene County Park Board is extending the pool hours on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because of the high temperatures. Talking about Fast Night Pool and Silver Springs Pool being extended.
Well, it's summertime, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. We always do have these types of temperatures, it seems, but isn't it typically July that we're talking about this?
Yeah, July and August typically. And last year we had a couple 100-degree days, but prior to that, it had been a few years before we had 100s. So yeah, it gets around this hot, 98, 102. What's the difference?
Right. So anyway, be careful out there. Check on your neighbors and your pets. Now to this. Drury just received its second largest financial gift ever. That's exciting for them. It came from the family of a man who graduated more than 100 years ago. How much are we talking about? $7.8 million goes to Drury, coming from the Richard Grant Leidy Trust, and goes toward Drury's Fortify the Future campaign. Mr. Leidy was a giant in the parking industry back in the 1920s, buying old buildings in Chicago and turning them into parking garages.
That's remarkable. And we've got people like that all over the Ozarks and all over the country, but people who had such an impact during their lives that their impact is being felt 100 years later, like this gentleman. I mean, that's incredible that trust that he put together is still able to give away that amount of money. That's fantastic. The good that was done after his death. I mean, not even counting whatever good he did in his life. It's amazing. Right?
It's pretty cool. Hopefully that's us someday.
Well, we're working on it.
Pondering.
It's slow going right now, but we're working on it.
It's the price of eggs.
I think I'm going to have to work for the next 100 years to get that to happen, maybe. At any rate, there is a startling shortage of 911 dispatchers across the country and right here in Missouri. Now the Missouri City of Independence is offering a $10,000 sign-on bonus to new 911 dispatchers. It will be paid after 5 years of service, so you have to commit at least 5 years to get that 10 grand extra. The city is currently looking to hire 10 911 dispatchers. So that's in Independence, Missouri.
I feel like they're going to have lots of applicants. Do you think?
Well, there was some concern that because that bonus is bigger than the police bonus, that maybe they're going to lose some police officers who decide, man, I could just go do that. You know what I mean? Off the streets. So I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but it's getting attention. It was on national news. I saw it on national news. So
that's very interesting.
And the concern beyond that, oh wow, 10,000 bonus, that's cool, is the reason for it is that there's such a lack of 911 dispatchers out there, and that's such an important job because they are truly the first responders. If you think about it, they are.
And when you need them, you need them.
Yeah, when you need them, you need them. You need them to answer. You need them to be on their toes with it, calm in a crisis, able to talk you through something. And some of the people they're talking to are having the last conversation of their lives. So that's a tough job. It's a lot of stress, which is maybe why not as many people aren't going into it these days. I don't know. At any rate, here's a different topic. Big Whiskey's is expanding in Alabama. The Ozark-based franchise just agreed to a new deal to open 3 Big Whiskey's in and around Huntsville. Big Whiskey's is planning on opening 8 more locations then in the next year, different locations, not just in Alabama. That would bring the total number of Big Whiskey's restaurants to 23. And home base is Ozark. That's cool.
That is cool. All right. How about this? The Missouri State Treasurer says that you might have some money that is rightfully yours, but that is currently sitting at the state's office. They have $1.39 billion worth of unclaimed property. Now, most of that is financial assets. Some of it is items, like tangible items from a safe deposit box. Either way, the Missouri State Treasurer says, check it out at showmemoney.com. Showmemoney.com. You can search your name and figure out if any of that $1.39 billion is yours. In fact, it's funny because the Missouri Treasurer is actually going to be in Springfield today to show some of the items that they have from different people's safe deposit boxes, which is just kind of interesting.
Yeah. And, every time we used to, usually there's every year or maybe every other year or maybe every new, what is it, State Treasurer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time there's a new one, certainly there's a push to tell people about it. But I'm on the set, usually with Lisa Rose. I'm on the set currently with you, and I'm always searching my name, and doggone it, never get anything.
Never.
There's never anything for me in there.
Do you remember the time that I had $50?
Yeah, you never got it either.
I know, it was kind of a pain in the butt to then claim it. It was probably my fault, not theirs. I'm sure that they make it easy. Listen, I'm not great with paperwork, admittedly. It's fine. I'm sure it's my fault, not theirs, but I remember it being a pain in the butt to actually get it because it was my maiden name. And so then I was out. I was like, forget it. I've been married for like 15 years. I don't even know. So anyway.
And I think it was like $50, wasn't it?
Yeah, which I would take it, right? I would take $50.
I would take it. Yes.
But
for
don't act like you act like that's mere chump change. Like, no, like.
Well, I mean, it wasn't enough for you to make a little bit of effort. So
I made some effort. Just
you didn't make any
not
effort.
Enough, apparently.
I even left it out on the counter for you, saying.
In fact,
I even left it on the counter saying, "Hey, do this," and crickets from your side.
There was no crickets, just so you know. All right. The commute between St. Louis and Chicago just got faster on the ground anyway. Not quite a high-speed train, but a train that can speed faster. How about that? Amtrak has a new passenger train running between St. Louis and Chicago that now goes 110 miles per hour, up from 90 miles per hour. So it cuts 15 minutes off the trip. So now the trip is just under 5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you could drive it for that, but I guess
you couldn't drive it for that. You couldn't drive 110 miles per hour.
Well, yeah, but you don't have to stop anywhere. Yeah, you can drive to Chicago in 5 hours from St. Louis.
Really?
Yeah.
If there's a highway patrol trooper watching this, I hope he pulls you over. That's insanity. You can get from St. Louis to Chicago in 5 hours?
Yep, I think so. I used to do it.
I don't believe you. Because the train doesn't... The car has to stop for more traffic than the train does. You're telling me that the train has to stop more frequently than a car? I don't
Sara,
believe it.
Google says if you drive St. Louis to Chicago or vice versa, 4 hours, 34 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah, the train has to stop at different Amtrak stations to get people on and get people off.
All right.
I mean, now, granted, you're not doing anything during that time, so you could get a lot of work done on your computer. You could take a siesta.
That's what I would do.
You could watch a couple of movies, whatever you want to do. It's not like you're driving in traffic, but you're faster in a car.
Okay. All right. Now to this. Congratulations to our friends at the Springfield Business Journal. They just won a national award for the best overall design. The Business Journal took second place for medium tabloids based on circulation.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Congratulations. But
I do.
I've already
them.
gotten in trouble for this. I was at a meeting with what?
I know. You know what? She actually emailed me and she's like, I'm going to get that fixed right up. But guess what? Small potatoes. She's got bigger fish to fry.
Paperwork.
And I understand. I get it.
Paperwork on your end. Didn't happen again.
No, it did too. I emailed her the spelling of my name and the dimension of the plate on the trophy. That's fine.
That's funny.
All right, moving on.
They probably think we're serious about it. We're joking the whole time.
We are joking
because at this point it's just funny.
And we do say congratulations. And everyone spells my name wrong. I don't know why my mom spelled it without an H. Ask her. It is weird.
Yeah,
Mom,
that's her problem.
Where you at?
All right. Springfield has a new Japanese restaurant. Did you see this? It's just cool. It's called Ariake. It's located in the former Logan's Roadhouse building on East Battlefield there. It features sushi, nigiri, both delicious, steak, and more. So check it out, Ariake. It's a good-sized restaurant, too. And then there's this, because Ryan Seacrest apparently doesn't have enough to do. He is adding hosting Wheel of Fortune to his job duties. He announced it on Twitter this week. It comes just a couple of weeks after Pat Sajak announced that he would be leaving Wheel of Fortune next year after 40 years of spinning the wheel. Vanna White, you're all wondering about her. She will stay on as a letter turner, the one and only letter turner, for at least another year. So what happens to Vanna after that, we don't know. But Ryan Seacrest, which I was thinking about that. Wheel of Fortune, there's not a lot to do for a host. There's not a lot of time to interject. It's pretty straightforward. And that audience is used to the way Pat Sajak does Wheel of Fortune. So, and Ryan Seacrest is a guy who likes to add his take to it, right? He likes to do it his way, which is cool. He's had success doing that. But I mean, he's gonna be funnier and try to interject, I think, a little bit more, which could be what Wheel's going for, because they're going to have to change their demographic at some point, because it's getting up there. Right. They're losing some of their demographic every day, no doubt. So they're going to have to try for a younger audience, and maybe that's the strategy behind bringing in Ryan Seacrest.
There was a season of my life, actually, when you and I first met.
Yeah, you were a wheel watcher. You had your own code, didn't you?
Guys, I was a wheel watcher. What the heck? I had my own code. I had my name. I would sit there. I was 22 years old. What the heck was I doing with my life? I was watching daggum Wheel of Fortune, but it was so good. And then I met Ethan, and he would bring me Buffalo Wild Wings. That's how he tried to hit on me when we first met. He was like, he totally had a crush on me. I told everybody at the station, listen, this dude is in love with me. I don't know what to do about it, but he is. And I was right, as it turns out.
Let's get back to Wheel of Fortune.
So he would come over with Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was like, darn it. I want to see him, but I really just want to watch Wheel of Fortune. And he's messing up my thing. And if I get the prize puzzle, I got to enter in my code. And then, he was really cramping my style, Wheel of Fortune style. But I mean, I guess in the end, I won. I won the bigger prize. How about that?
I remember you're such a nerd with your little wheel code. I was like, do you actually do that? And you were like, yeah, because I go to, it's on at what, 6:30?
Yes.
6:30. You go to bed about 7 because you were doing the morning show back then. So your life was ridiculous.
It's funny when people come to the newsroom and they're like, oh, I want to be on TV. I'm like, listen, I go to bed at 7 p.m. I get up at 2 a.m. It's very, very glamorous.
Yeah.
And then I call their butt out of bed when there's breaking news and they don't answer. I'm like, you'll never last in news. My dog just hit the little thing on the door. If you're wondering what the rumbling is.
I couldn't hear it. We couldn't hear it.
But anyway, yeah. Very glamorous. It's a very glamorous life. You too can play Wheel of Fortune from your couch at the ripe old age of 22. It's fabulous.
You know, as far as gigs go, that's one of the easiest gigs in the world, because the way they do that is they shoot 10 shows a day for 2 or 3 weeks straight, and then it's smooth sailing. Pat Sajak is on the beach of Hawaii or wherever he wants to be, because he makes.
We totally should have gone for that job. You think I could be the next Vanna White? I don't know. She's pretty. She's like supermodel pretty. I'm not saying I'm not being self-deprecating. I'm just saying I'm not a supermodel. That's all.
I'm
5'5".
I wonder
It's a
I wonder if
problem.
they'll even have another Vanna type, because Vanna doesn't do anything anymore. The letters light up. I think
What
it'd
do
be
you
more
mean?
fun if
She
she
has to
had to
touch them.
remember. Huh?
She has to touch them.
Oh, come on. She
What do
doesn't
you
have to
mean? They
touch them.
light up
That's
to
a
show her which
It's a
ones to
show.
touch.
It's a show. She's not touching anything. Or it doesn't matter if she touches it or not. They can flip it in the control room. But my point is they don't need her anymore after, I mean, they're going to let her retire or whatever. But they may not have another letter turner. What about that? I bet they don't. I think
I
that's
don't
just
like it.
Ryan.
No, I don't think so. Because I know that they want a new demographic, but the reality is that they don't have a new demographic. So they need to play to the demographic that they have. The story of my life. That's like the story of a news person's life, by the way. All right. Now to this. Today is another free lunchtime concert at Founders Park in downtown Springfield,
Last
which
one.
I still have not been to one. And I keep saying I'm going to go to one. Maybe this is the one, people. Since Independence Day is just a few days away, today's concert will be patriotic, celebrating Americana. Just in time. How fitting. You can listen to the Bear, Brass, and Heat Cat 5 of the 125th Army Band.
Well, God bless him. Heat is right, because it's going to be like 100 degrees out there.
I know, but I love patriotic music.
Yeah, I do too.
Yep.
That'll be nice.
All right, and then we're going to end with this. There's lots of towns and places doing things, but we're going to highlight this one today. The Independence Day fireworks fun begins this weekend in the city of Republic. Republic is hosting its 27th annual Have a Blast event on this Friday night at J.R. Martin Park. It is free. It starts at 6:00. With a kids zone, inflatables, axe throwing, live music, food vendors, carnival games, a petting zoo, and then the fireworks will start, of course, when the sun goes down.
At dusk or later, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fun. The fire, it's time. 'Tis the season for and we got a lot of them that we'll be telling you about this week as we go, because there's lots of places, not all on July 4th, lots of days around there because it's a long weekend. So there you go. There you have it. 17 minutes. One of our longer Around the Ozarks.
Oh,
in a
man,
while.
17 minutes. Do you like how I changed the name of it from Around the Ozarks in 5 to Around the Ozarks in 5-ish?
Yes.
And then if people question me about it at the coffee shop, which they often do, they're like, I don't know why you named it that. I'm like, listen, if you can only listen for 5, you get the headlines of the day
There you go.
for the most part. So I stand beside our name. I'm not changing it. I did
You
add
already did.
ish.
You already did.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Hey, thanks for watching, and have yourself a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow.